very much for your kind words. My name is Olumide and popularly known as Barrister. I'm a lawyer and the founder of the Nurses Health Initiative. What I do is awareness of the phenomenon called domestic violence and abuse and child abuse. We help victims of domestic violence and abuse. We help them by intervention, prosecution, and resettlement here. And our awareness is as to teaching people mistakes often made in marriages, how and why we make the wrong choices, and sharing examples from people. That is, in summary, I speak in about 3 different radio stations and 2 television stations in Nigeria.
Wow.
That's about it.
Oh, thank you so much. I realized that you're now using women radio. I think it's called women radio. I don't know. Yes. So you know that I'm following you back to back. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for that introduction. So let's just go straight to it. I know our audience are waiting. Thanks so much for joining us. We are so sorry for this Facebook errors. It's not our fault, please.
Said that we should try and use laptop.
You should try and use laptop. Okay, maybe we'll do that next time. We'll try and see how we can solve those. But it's too late for us to be doing all those now. But I believe you can hear him. As long as you can hear him, I think we are good to go, right? So please drop in the comments. Can you hear him, please? If you can hear him. All what he said, if you can hear him, please drop in the comment section. So quickly, we'll go into the show for today. We are going to be talking about why are marriages failing? And Barrister is going to be doing most of the talking. He's going to be talking for the next 30 minutes plus. Then we'll now take reactions. That's how the show is going to go. He can even speak for more than 30. I know Barrister talks a lot. He's very passionate about this thing. And that will lead me to my first question to Barrister before he starts, which is, Barrister, what made you so passionate about relationship, helping people? You know, the whole relationship thing. What made you passionate about this, sir?
I think that is an ageless question. That's a timeless question. I graduated from the University of Ibadan. And while I was writing my project was in family law. And it was on marriages. In my project, I had to find married couples and interview them on how they got married, what kind of marriage was it, traditional or legal, and how the marital journey has been. You know, so I had to interview couples. Before I could find a couple that could tell me that, you know, it has been good, or, you know, this has been a blessing. You know, what the first thing to get is, you know, Rai is already everybody. He was in Ibadan, and you know Ibadan they are very blunt the way they talk. So I kept holding up my project because I couldn't just find a happy couple to interview from lecturers until I decided to go to the marketplace just to find even amongst it was just terrible. And it really shocked me what should have taken a week or two just to interview 15 couples. I had to take over a month to 2.
Wow.
And it was always, you know, people would be like, that's the only question I have. Why? Some would say, well, please, I don't want to lie. You know, people are just, it was just so it got me. And I was like, is it that there are no sane marriages? Is it that there's nobody that has a good story about their marriage? And then, you know, I started wondering why. And that was the major problem. That question. Why? Why are marriages toxic? Why is it that nobody has anything good to say? If I could find 5, just 5 out of 15.
5 out of
I think
15.
that was where this journey started.
Okay, sir. All right. So, Barrister, if you don't mind, we keep getting a feedback from your end. There's this tap sound we keep hearing as if somebody's working on something. So, if you can get to a quieter place, I really appreciate it.
Yes. I think I know why. It has stopped, Abby.
Yes. So that it's more clearer. You know, you are using the phone now, so that people on Facebook will hear you well. I just want to make sure that they are hearing you very well. Okay, so with that said, as you, Barrister will start quickly, my people. I want you to please share this live so that it will get to as many people. And please, if you have not liked, please like. If you want to also give stars, why not? You want to support our show? Why not? You can support by gifting stars. That's why the stars is there. Thank you so much for your time. So, Barrister, over to you, sir. Our theme for today: why are marriages failing? And we are going to be doing a series of who not to marry. For those of you who are watching us, you know that. So, Barrister, I'll pass the mic to you now, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will try to be brief. I will time myself.
Okay.
Because it is an extensive.
You have like about 40 minutes thereabouts. I know you have a lot to pour out. So please take your time, sir.
Do people ask questions here as well?
Oh, yes. We'll read questions for you. Or you can even, when you will also be seeing it in your own end. So don't bother about the questions in here.
No, not a problem. So let me just quickly delve into it. So the first question here is why are marriages failing? First of all, let me give you some statistics in Nigeria. In Nigeria, 1 in every 4 marriages would end in a separation or divorce by the 2nd anniversary. 1 in every 3 women will suffer domestic violence or abuse in the first year of their marriage. Shija reported in 2016 that Nigeria loses an average of 300 to 350 women every year in the hands of their husbands, former lovers, or male relatives. Between May 2020 and August 2021, the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency recorded 10,000 cases of domestic violence and abuse in Lagos State alone. At 2020, that may be 27 cases per day.
27 cases per day in Lagos.
Per day. And that was in Lagos State alone, and that is underreported. In Lagos State, between September 2022 and July 2023, there were 340 reported cases of domestic violence and abuse perpetrated against men. So out of 365 days, you have 340 days. That is virtually every other day a man is reported. Now, the Clean Foundation between January and September 2016 recorded 30,000 cases of failed marriages in Badagry alone.
30,000 cases of failed marriages in Badagry alone. Wow.
That's 9 months. So, research from 2017 to 2020 in Western Nigeria, that is Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Ondo, showed that 87% of cases of domestic violence and abuse, separations and divorces are from couples of the Christian faith, which shows you that being a Christian makes your marriage more likely to fail than to succeed. 87% of cases. Now, a recent study also by the Pew Research Center in the United States, published in January 2024, shows that Protestant Christians accounted for 51% of divorces in the U.S. So it is now a known fact around the world that Christians have the highest rate of divorces amongst all religions that exist. in 2021, statistics here showed that by 2025, the Christian or single woman in Nigeria will more likely die from her marriage and its complications than any natural disease or ailment. Now, let me stop there. These are part of the researches that we funded over the decades. When you say, why are marriages failing? We're using Nigeria as a case study.
Yes, sir.
Find that Nigerians, Christians have 87% of failed marriages, whereas all other religions, that is the traditionists, the Muslims, the free thinkers, everybody is sharing 17%. So the question now switches to, why are Christian marriages failing? I have taught this some time ago. I mentioned that in a divorce clinic we held in 2020, about 85 women were in attendance, and after various discussions and interviews about the root cause of their marital failure, 81 out of 85 said it was God that told them to marry their husband. And others explained how they had prayed and heard God's voice telling them to marry their husbands. And I have to ask, how? Is it that you just close your eyes and you hear a voice? Some said no, it was in a dream. Some said it was confirmed by their pastors. And at the end of that day, the conclusion of the research was that God was the major cause of failed marriages in the Christian faith, because He is the one that chooses for them. And if God were to be just, knowing the end from the beginning, that means He knew that their marriages will fail, but still pushed them to go into the marriage, knowing it will fail. Some said that their pastors who confirmed it, they prayed, and they did all that. This has led to that popular phrase amongst Christians that God told me you are my wife. God told me you are my husband. You say you met somebody, you say, have you prayed about it? Did God tell you? The other issue about some failed marriages now borders around tradition and culture. However, the major problem we have when someone has 87% failure rate, I think we need to study. The problem with that demographic is that their spouses were not their choices. It was chosen for them by either a supernatural being or the pastor in their church. There was a popular case. You heard of the Osinachi saga.
Yes.
You know, about 2 weeks ago, on the 28th of April, her husband was sentenced to death. I was one of the lawyers.
Oh, wow. Yes, sir. I remember you said that on radio.
Osinachi had separated from her husband for 1 year, 3 months. But then came up with the doctrine, what God has joined together, and let no man put asunder, and then she went back. And she never lived through it.
She went back because pastors were telling her to go back, sir. Right?
Yeah, and she told her mom. Her mom gave an interview on BBC. And when she was recovering, and the mother, her husband, after 1 year, 3 months, now came to beg, she said no. But Osinachi now told the mother that, Mommy, what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And she went back. Today she's dead. Her husband has also been sentenced to death. Her children are there. You know, there were 17 witnesses against her husband. 2 of those witnesses were their children. 2 of the children came to testify against their father. What one of them said was that witness how their father pushed their mother from the moving vehicle. time, he will also give the children canes to flog their mother. If you don't flog the mother well, he will flog you. So you will flog the mother. So what has God joined together there?
Hey.
Is it that God joined the wolf and the sheep so that the wolf will devour the sheep? This has always been the Christian sentiment. They think they marry in terms of church. They marry in terms of because he is a Christian. But the funny thing is, if you look throughout Scripture, there has been no place that God told anybody explicitly, this is your husband or this is your wife.
Yes, sir.
It does not exist in Scripture. There is nowhere. Rather, in Proverbs 18:22, it tells you, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains
favor from
Let us even look at the birth of Christ, which was singularly the most important birth in the history and the future of mankind. The angel appeared to Mary, the angel appeared to Elizabeth, the angel appeared to Zachariah. No angel appeared to Joseph. No angel told Joseph to Mary is your wife. They were betrothed. That means that Joseph chose her. The betrothal is the Jewish customary marriage, where if a man is a woman that he likes, he would go with his family to the family of that woman, and they would introduce themselves, and then their intention to court, to date, which the family will now give them time, either 3 months, 6 months, which they would check out each other, date each other, and after that, they will report back to the family, and the family will ask, so do you like what you see? If you say yes, then they move ahead with the marriage rights. If you say no, then that dating is cancelled. If at any point in time God had to have chosen somebody for somebody, it would have been in the time of Joseph, because the birth of Christ was carefully and meticulously calculated. God could not afford any mistakes. Still, he did not choose for Joseph. So who are you and what do you want to give birth to that God will now choose for you when he did not choose for Christ? It simply does not exist. Now, we compare the Christian rituals in marriage, how they choose, to other religions and other beliefs. Now, other people choose based on character. Christians choose based on religion. They say, oh, he's a member of my church. Oh, he's a worker in my church. Oh, he's a this. And that automatically means, oh, we are from the, in fact, churches now, some people will tell you have to choose inside the church.
Yes.
You find some people, what's this guy's name, Oyaki Gomez Church, that, there was a time they were encouraged not to marry from outside the church. It's just funny, like the Corinthians cannot marry the Thessalonians, the Philippians cannot marry the Colossians. That was how it is. But the main thing that we have found about marriage, that marriage is about character and not about religion. The definition of character, according to the Collins Dictionary, is the way a person thinks, feels, and behaves. But over 3,000 years ago, a king called Solomon had said, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is, which is the direct definition of character in the Oxford and Collins Dictionary. A mistake people make is trying to define a person in other terms than their character, especially by religion, thinking religion is equal to character. But the definition of religion is different from the definition of character. The religion is the belief in a god or gods and the activities that are connected with the belief. But character is the way someone thinks, feels, or behaves. When you marry, you're not married to a person's religion. tribe or culture, you are married to a person's character. And this has been the foundation of a lot of people's problems. You will find after marriage, they'll say, if I had known you were like this, I wouldn't have married you. Why? Because you were not looking at character. Now, over the years, I have summarized all our cases of domestic violence and abuse, separations and divorces. I have summarized 7 character traits that we have seen that if you marry anyone who has as a predominant character trait, either of these 7 traits, the marriage is bound to fail. You know, there is a difference between long suffering and to suffer long. When your marriage becomes a test of endurance, when your marriage becomes your affliction, when your marriage becomes your provocation, but you are told you cannot live by the same religion that got you to marry this person in the first place, it becomes a problem. The traits are, number 1, a proud person. Number 2, a jealous person. Number 3, a stingy or selfish person. Number 4, a jobless person. Number 5, a liar. Number 6, a hot-tempered person. Number 7, a malicious person.
So, before you go ahead, these are the people not to marry, right?
Yes, these are.
Okay, so can you call it out once again, sir, so that anyone who wants to jot down can jot down?
Okay. First, you have the
jealous,
the proud,
the
stingy or selfish, the
jobless,
the liar, the hot-tempered, and
the malicious person. Okay, can go ahead, sir.
So let me start with a proud person. We are talking about why marriages fail. And my conclusion after 2.5 decades is when you are married to people with these kinds of character, your marriage is bound to be a test of endurance, affliction, and difficulty. Number 1, a proud person.
So, sir, before you go ahead, sir, let me just hold you right there. Please, my people that are watching right now, please, if this is getting very interesting, and if you have not shared, please share and like the video so that I can get to more people. So Barrister now is going to be talking about who not to marry, and he's starting with the proud person. So Barrister, this is going to be a series. Today we are going to talk about the proud person. So you now give us a breakdown of a proud person, and for the remaining, 6, we are going to make it a series for the next couple of, Wednesdays. That's what you are going to do. Thank you so much, sir. You can go ahead, sir. The proud person.
Okay, thank you. It is going to be, if it is one topic, but okay, let's see how far we can go in this.
Yes, sir. For today, the proud person, yes. But if we can't finish today, we can always extend it to next week.
No, it is fine. It's fine.
Okay, all right.
Knowledge is awesome.
All right.
So, first of a proud person. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a proud person or pride is having or showing a high or excessively high opinion of oneself or one's importance. According to Merriam-Webster, proud is having or displaying excessive self-esteem. Vocabulary.com defines it as having or showing an exaggerated opinion of your importance. Now, synonyms of pride are overbearing, superiority, arrogant, insolent, and with pride always comes arrogance. Now, arrogance is just the offensive display of pride. Now, the characters of proud people. Number one, proud people never admit that they are wrong, even after you have proven it to them that they are wrong. They never admit. So that means they are never wrong, and that means they never apologize. How can you apologize when you are always right? Number two, they monopolize conversations. Why? Because they know everything about what you want to say. They know more than you. They always know more than everybody. They are all about self. Everything is about themselves. They show no regard or feelings for the others. Proud people can never sympathize or empathize with you because you are below them. For example, maybe a spouse loses a family member. When you are crying and all that, you lost your brother or your sister or your mother, the proud person will respond to your tears with, what's wrong with you? Everybody dies one day now. So is that why you are crying? You just say, everybody dies one day, you too will die. You know, the way they go about it is without sympathy or empathy. Proud people hardly have friends because they believe they are superior to everyone. Proud people are unteachable because they believe they know more than you. So what do you want to tell them that they don't know? If you want to talk about the moon, they know. If you want to talk about water, they know. If you want to talk about rock formation, they know. If you want to talk about yourself, people know you more than you know yourself. One thing about proud people is that nothing you ever do will be good enough for them. So forget you're trying to look beautiful so that he will tell you that, oh, you look beautiful. They hardly compliment. They are ungrateful people. No matter what you do for them, they believe they deserve it. So they are heavily entitled. Your views, your opinions, you or your feelings will not matter because everything is all about them. And it's hard to be totally honest with a proud person because they are emotionally detached and see you as inferior. So whatever you tell them about you, they will use against you. So the problem is, what pride is a character trait that cannot hide. You see it immediately. It's like a robe. It's like a garment. So you can't say, oh, I never knew he was proud. The first thing you would know about a person is that overconfidence, that godlike narcissism. For those that believe in the Bible, let me talk from, I've given you from a psychological point of view. Let me give you from a religious point of view. If you look at James chapter 4, verse 6, it tells you God opposes the proud and gives more grace to the humble.
Humble, yes.
So the question is, why would you join yourself to someone who God is opposing? Proverbs 6:16 tells you, these 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7 are an abomination to him. The first is a proud look, just the look of pride. God hates. So, I don't know how you join yourself to someone that God hates, and then you are praying with God who hates the person you are praying with for answer prayers. You know, it's just an exercise in futility. It never makes sense. When you look at the book, The Mask of Pandora, it says, in one of the quotes, it says, whom the gods will destroy, they first make proud.
Proud. Okay.
From there, you can infer that pride comes before a fall.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us look at, from Ezekiel 28, you see that Lucifer was once an angel, and then God struck him to the ground. Why? Because pride was found in his heart, and God threw him from heaven down to earth. Meaning, even God could not live with a proud person. You know, where God could not live with a proud person and threw him from heaven to earth, you on earth will now marry what God cannot even handle. So that makes you greater than God. You can do what even God cannot do. And that is cohabit with pride. It's always, you've heard of the word narcissism.
Yes, sir.
Narcissism. Narcissism is the full expression of pride. Let me not even begin with narcissism, but what I will tell you is that people married to proud spouses always struggle because they are emotionally detached. It's a marriage where you cannot speak, where your views don't matter, where your feelings don't matter, where your voice doesn't matter. A marriage that would be void of apology. It's just on another level in itself. There is no negotiating with a proud person. There is no cure. It always leads to frustration. That's the first one I would tell you.